Good afternoon to the viewers of today's webinar on research methodology, data collection and its processing. I'm happy to share with you that in the series of webinar on a pertinent topic of research methodology, we have planned to have 5 webinars in a series covering all the aspects of the research methodology. We have already conducted 2. Today, we are having the third webinar on research methodology, data collection, and its processing. So after this, we would be having another web series for this webinar on these other aspect of the research methodology. We have gracious presence of the Honorable Chairman of the Research Committee, none other than CA Dr. Anuj Goel, who is the member of all the 3 institutes, CA, CS, ICWA, as well as he is having doctorate in his credit. So none other than him can be best suitable for this position as the chairman of the research committee. The institute, the world largest accounting body, has entrusted this responsibility on my chairman. Continuously, it's the 4th year under his able leadership. We are having tremendous work in the research committee under his able guidance. Very recently, we have conducted the award ceremony at Dubai, 19th of October, wherein we celebrated the good work, exemplary work of the researcher in form of International Research Award. There was a participation from 33 countries across the globe in this award, and it's a wonderful experience we had. Wonderful experience we had. So we are very eager to hear our speaker. But prior to that, it would be good if we can have a guiding word from our chairman. So let me introduce my chairman. Prior to that, the CA Anuj Goel is the 6th-term council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. As I told you earlier, that he is the member of all the 3 institutes, CA, CS, ICWA, and this AMCOM, LLB, doctorate. You would be happy to note that his passion to the profession, that he served all 3 institutes, CA, CS, ICWA, at branch level. Then he moved to the regional council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and lead the regional council as the chairman. Then he moved. There was a time when he was the chairman of the regional council. At the same time, he was central council member elect. So he has that credit. I think that time he was the youngest council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. So this is the 6th term of the C. Anuj Goel ji in the council, and he served this committee continuously 4th year in this tenure, as well as in 2004 also he was the chairman of this committee. Under this committee, there are various steps has been taken since 2020 in form of doctoral research project scheme. There are other major steps has been taken in form of international research award, short-term studies, and wonderful work has been done. I'm thankful to him, and my whole secretary is thankful to him, as well as my vice chairman, Kotha Srinivas, for their able guidance. And with these words, I would be requesting my chairman for his blessing words.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amit Agrawal ji, our young and dynamic secretary of the research committee. I think the way he is leading from the front as the secretary of the research committee, as the administrative head of the research committee, I think something really great. I compliment Dr. Amit Agrawal ji and his entire team. We are having a lot number of chartered accountants in the research committee under the guidance of Dr. Amit Agrawal ji, who are contributing in a great way. Friends, I'm really very happy that we are having this very important series of webinars on the research methodology And today we will be having very, very renowned faculty, Dr. Anurag Bahadur Singh, as the resource person for this very, very important topic. And friends, you must be very well aware that as far as this research committee is concerned, it is the oldest technical committee which was established way back in 1955, and I think it is very, very important to have the best of the research in any organization, particularly for the development of the education institutions like the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And I'm really very happy that since last 4 years, we have taken n number of initiatives to bring the research committee on the forefront of the accounting profession worldwide. We have introduced ICI International Research Award. This year, it was the fourth ICI International Research Award at Dubai. And the researchers from each and every part of the world are taking part in this ICI International Research Award. And practically, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is the only accounting body of the International Federation of Accountants which has come out this prestigious ICI International Research Award. For the first 3 years, the president of the International Federation of Accountants, IFAC, was the chairman of the jury, and that shows the importance of this ICI International Research Award in the accounting profession. And through this research committee, we are trying to see that how we can undertake the research projects. We have introduced ICI Research Project Scheme, in which the chartered accountants and the educationists, the researchers, can undertake the research projects, and we do reimburse up to 10 lakhs of rupees to the researchers towards the expenses incurred, and within 6 months one is supposed to complete the research project. And I'm really very happy to share with all of you that we have shared the findings with the central governments, state governments, various other stakeholders, and we are trying our level best to see that we can really prove ourselves as a real partner in nation building, which was, of course, once communicated to the outside world by none other than Dr. APJ Abul Kalam ji, the then president of the country. And we are trying our level best that how the incomes of the various state governments, central governments can be enhanced, the leakages can be minimized, and thus we can contribute in the very, very positive manner. In addition to that, we have come out with the ICI Doctoral Scholarship Scheme, in which the young chartered accountants who want to do the PhD on full-time basis can be the part of the ICI Doctoral Scholarship Scheme if they want to do it on full-time basis. And then we are doing the handholding exercise by having the provision of the scholarship, monthly scholarship for 3 years. And friends, as one prominent researcher, Kurt Lewin, aptly stated, no research without action, no action without research. So we are trying our level best to see that how we can have the action-oriented research and research-oriented action. So I will not be taking much of the time of yours, but as far as this data collection and processing, which we will be going to discuss today, it is very, very important for the researchers. And data collection plays a pivotal role in advancing scientific research and innovation. Researchers use data to identify patterns from healthcare to environmental science. The insights gained from the data analysis contribute to the development of new treatments, technologies, and solutions to complex problems. Data collection in the context of the research can take various forms, from surveys and interviews to experiments and observations. Researchers employ diverse methods to gather information relevant to their inquiries. As we navigate an ever-changing world, research is vital in helping us grasp and adapt to new findings. It allows us to identify and capitalize on new trends and to anticipate and mitigate potential risks. And this webinar is also expected to provide guidance on observation methods, interview methods, questionnaires, case study methods, data processing and analysis, data interpretation, and other topics that will allow participants to contribute to the research areas by improving their knowledge for further research investigations. On that premise, I am convinced that this webinar will assist members in refining their research technique skills. I once again welcome all our honorable delegates which are present with us from each and every part of the world. And I once again welcome our honorable resource persons, Dr. Anurag Bahadur Singh, on this third session of the series of the webinar on the research methodology. Thank you very much, friends.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman, sir. You have very briefly and nicely described that what is going to be deliberated in this session and what is the expectation of the audience from the learned faculty. So you have made the life of Mr. Anurag B. Singh very easy, because in given time of 2 hours covering this vast aspect, you have made it very easy. This shows your experience and expertise, being a doctorate and a member of all the 3 institutes at the same time. You understand what is the expected from the faculty, at the same time what is the desire and the expectation of our membership at large from the learned faculty. So once again, thank you for your nice and brief deliberation. So since I am also from the academia, so by the time Mr. Anurag joins, I take this opportunity to take some feedback from my members that how many of you is really in, please use your chat box. So how many of you is in the process of research? How many are pursuing any doctorate, or how many of you are doing any research project or any research paper writing? So what kind of data collection tools you are using, and how you are processing these tools? So it will help me to understand the fair understanding of the audience. I'm waiting your chat. So, Mr. Rahul, how many have responded? Good. So, thank you, audience. It's helped me to understand the expectation of the audience. We have Dr. Anurag with us. Let me take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Anurag Singh. Dr. Anurag Bahadur Singh is the assistant professor, senior grade, accounting and finance in Jhaveri Institute of Management, University, Bhubaneswar, and formerly he was with ITS Mohan Nagar, Ghaziabad, and National Institute of Financial Management, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, Faridabad. So he is a guest speaker of various government organizations like National Police Academy, Hyderabad, National Academy of Defense Production, Nagpur, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay National Academy of Social Security, Delhi, Steel Authority of India, New Delhi, and so many organizations. So he has vast experience of teaching. So not taking much time, I don't want to be in between to the audience and the faculty. I once again welcome Dr. Anurag Bahadur Singh ji, and I would request him for his deliberation. Over to Dr. Anurag Bahadur Singh. Bahadur Singh ji, you are on mute. So can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Now I'm audible, sir?
Yes, very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for this nice introduction. And welcome the all participants in this 2 hours session, which are dedicated for the data collection and interpretation, analysis and interpretation. So as of now, we are going to talk about hello.
Yes,
just
we can hear you.
I'm trying to share that PPT mic. Just wait.
Okay. Sir, we can share it from our side also. If you are finding it difficult, then we can share it from our side.
No, sir. No, just give me 1 minute, sir.
Okay. Yes, please. I welcome my chairman, C. Anuj Goyal ji. He is kind enough, in spite of his busy schedule, is kind enough to spare time to deliberate and interact with you people.
Welcome, Anurag sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Chairman sir, Anurag sir is sharing his screen. By the time I take this opportunity to tell all the audience and to you that today's topic is on data collection and processing. So it is a very, very pertinent topic because there are various challenges while you are collecting the data, what sort of data you should use, how you can get because generally the familiar way of collecting the data is questionnaire. But nowadays there are so many other ways of data collection tools because the questionnaire now is become very difficult to get response on the questionnaire. Sending emails is flooded. All the respondents are generally flooded with so many questionnaires. But now innovative tools have been developed, and focus group discussion is one of the data collection tool. So I would like to hear from the audience also. Then, can they share with us what are the data collection tools they are using? Anuragji, can you share your screen or should we help you out from our side?
I think we can share from our side. Should we share from our side?
No, sir. Just I am doing it.
Okay.
I hope the PPT is visible to everyone.
Yes. Go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So basically, the data collection. This is the topic which we are going to discuss about data collection and processing, and the objectives. Basically, today the topic which we are going to cover to understand the issue arises when the defining variables. So we know that first of all, whenever we are going to collect the data, so we have to define the variable, and how to define the variable, to understand the different measurement scales while collection of a data, how to collect the data, to identify different way of collection of a samples, to understand the issue involved in the preparation, and to understand the types of survey errors. And thereafter we'll talk at the end that a processing analysis of data, and for that purpose that one small hands-on session will also be there, how to analysis can be done and how the interpretation of the data can be done through using Excel, right? So this is the basically one of the important point before moving ahead to we understand the statistics, the method that allow effectively works with the data. So point number one, business statistics provide the formal basis to one is summarize and visualization of a data. Number two, reach to the conclusion from the business data or maybe any kind of data is there. Make reliable prediction about business activity or maybe any problem. we have, and improve the business process. That is the agenda which statistic enable us to do so, right? So for point number 1, summarize and visualize the data, we need to collect the data, right? There are some concept are given by the many statisticians. If we follow that concept, so we'll able to understand where we are and what to do for that, for identifying any problem and for solving any problem. So the concept is known as a DCOVA, which is stand for define, collection, organize, visualize, and analyze. So first of all, what is the meaning of define is that in the define, the data you want to study to involve a problem to meet the objective. Meaning is that we want to study to solve any problem or any objective. So we need to define what is the problem and what kind of information we required. And accordingly, whenever the problem has defined and the related information, we decided these are the related informations may be there, so we have to proceed ourselves to collect the data, right? And the data, while collection the data, so the sources must be very reliable and must be very appropriate. This is the point number 2. Talking to point number 3, organize the data collection by developing a table, or maybe pictures, maybe histograms, maybe anything, and visualization of data. One of the very important aspect is that whenever we collect the data, we have to put it in the tabular form, we have to put in the significant manner, so that many of the software is there which can read it. And even if we are doing manually, so yes, we can apply the statistical tools and go for solution purpose, right? So this is called a organization of a data. And thereafter, visualization of data. You might have seen while going on the cricket and all, the score graph is there, wicket graph is there. So this is called a visualization of data. So visualization of data, we do visualize the data with the help of different chart, pie chart, etc., histogram, etc., so that it is very easy to understand the stakeholders whosoever are interested to learn about the data. So this is very easy way to interpret and present the data in front of the audience. Next one is to analyze. There are many statistical tools are there which are very useful for the analysis purpose, and we can apply whatsoever the tools are appropriate for the analysis purpose, and we may reach to the conclusion. So this is all DCOVA concept is. We have to keep in our mind, keep whatever the problem we are going to define, going to solve. So first of all, we need to define the problem. Thereafter, we have to collect the information, related information. We need to organize, put in the tabular form, visualize the data, and thereafter we'll go for the analysis. So this is the DCOV concept. Now, talking to variables. Since I'm not going to identification of the problem, I'm not going to defining of the problem because it is already being covered by some other faculty. So I'm going to talk about that variable or informations. The operational definition of some of the terms are very important to understand. The variable, or you can say data, or you can say information, which are many types of information may be there. So what does mean of the variable? Any kind of individual information that are vary from data unit. Any information. Why we call it variable? Because it is vary from individual to individual. Whenever you are collecting information of X company or maybe Y company, so their information are varying to each other. Or if you are collecting information from Mr. X or Mr. Y, so that information are vary from Mr. X to Mr. Y or Mr. Y to Mr. X. That is why we called it variable, which can vary. So it is unit, can be vary, data unit, for example, age, sex, business income, or maybe the expenditure. You know it very well that all these things are not constant in each and every person, in each and every business. So that is why it is called a variable. Now, talking to the variable, how many types of variable is there? One is numeric, and second one is a categorical variable. What does mean of the numeric variable? Whenever the number is there, I mean to say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is called what? It is a numeric. Maybe 10,000, maybe 12,000, something like that. But in numeric, there are two types of again variable can be classified. One is the continuous, second one is a discrete. So we need to understand whether our data is continuous nature or our data is a discrete nature. Similarly, talking to the categorical variable, there are two types of variable as there. One is ordinal and second one is a nominal, right? So I'm going to just give you example to broader understanding relating to numeric data, relating to categorical data, and subsequently we'll also talk how we can identify whether it is continuous or discrete, or it is ordinal or it is nominal. If you look at the below of the slide, that example are there, such as continuous height, which comes from the continuous measurement, height, time, age, temperature. This is called what? Continuous nature. While talking to the discrete, so number of registered car in a city, number of business locations in a city, so that is called a what? Discrete, which is comes from the measurement scale, right? This is the basic difference between continuous and a discrete kind of variable. Talking to what? A categorical variable, if you talk about ordinal, so what is the meaning of ordinal? Which is comes from order. I mean to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? This is what? Order. And in case if you talk about that cloth size, so we know that a small size, medium size, XL large, or XL extra large, these are the what? Ordinal variables are. They are categorical but ordinal scale. Why? Because the sequence is very important. Sequence is very important. A, B, C are small, medium, large, or maybe extra large. This is the attitude. If you are, prepared your questionnaire on that Likert scale basis, say for example, and you put there strongly disagree, agree, and neutral, and not agree, something like that. It is all Likert scale measurement is also called, that is ordinal categorical variable, right? So this is the identification of categorical variable in terms of ordinal. Talking to what? In case if you talk about nominal, what does mean of nominal? So if you say the sex of the individual person, maybe male, female, or transgender, right? Business types, this is what? It is again nominal. Eye color, region, or maybe brands, etc. All these things known as a what? Ordinal. If you are asking any question, yes or no, so that is also what? Nominal. So in this way, we can identify the variable. I hope the everybody is clear about the identification of a variable. Now we are moving ahead, talking to what? The operational definition of some types with some example. Data, data unit, data types, and observations, right? Talking to that, what is the meaning of data? The set of individual values associated with one or more variable. Set of individual values, okay, associated with one or more variable. That is known what? It is known as a data. The data maybe it is measurement, observational, and collected from some other informations. So this is the meaning of data. For example, if you talk about the number of people in Bhubaneswar, number of calls received by emergency services each day, the value of sales of a particular product. This is what? This is a data. But what does meaning of data unit? Data unit is a one entity such as a person or a business. Such a person or a business. The data may be related to more than one variable, but the data unit is what? It is relating to one entity or one individual. This is a data unit. Talking to what? Data types. The data types are, it is characteristics or attributes of the data unit which is measured or counted, such as height, weight, country of birth, income, etc. This is what? Data item. What does mean of observations? An observation is an occurrence of a specific data item that is recorded about data unit. It may be numeric, it may be non-numeric, meaning categorical variable may be there, such as 173 height centimeter, whereas India is non-numeric. Meaning is that height is numeric, but India is non-numeric. So a small table we have. If you look about the age, sex, and income. This is known as a what? Data item, right? But we talk about a person number 2, Mr. Joy. Okay, this is what? Data unit, right? And there is a income is there, that it is a numeric observation from the data. And if you talk about the sex, male and female, this is called a non-numeric categorical data. So that is the way we need to understand what does mean of data item, data unit, and numeric and maybe categorical variable, right? Now, in a broader sense, if we discuss that all these things, so basically in a statistic there are two types of data are used. One is quantitative data and second one is qualitative data. You know that with name it is very much clear that a quantitative, which define the quantity measured, value, count, it is expressed in the number, such as how many, how much, or how often, right? This is what it is, a numeric variable. But talking to other one, that is qualitative data. That qualitative data is what? If you say what types it is, what color it is, in which country your birth. Okay, so all these what it is, a qualitative data is there. The data collection about a numeric variable will be always in the quantitative, and data collection about a categorical variable, it is always into qualitative. Qualitative is there, right? So business studies or statistical tools enable us to make our analysis, to conduct our analysis on a both types of data, that is what? Qualitative data and quantitative data. We must be very much sure that a quantitative means it is expressed in the numbers, and qualitative means it is not expressed in the number, means non-numeric data are called as a qualitative data, right? There are one example to better understanding the purpose. For example, that how the quantitative and qualitative data can be gathered from some data units. So there are second column. If you see, this is what? Quantitative, and third column is relating to what? Qualitative. So for example, if you are interested to calculate a data for how many children you have, this is what kind of data it is. It is whether it is quantitative or qualitative. So the number is coming, maybe one children, two children, four children, five children. So it is a what? A quantitative. But another side, in which country your children born, right? If you're talking this way, say for example Australia, USA, Britain, etc., so that is what it is, a qualitative data, right? Another example is there, how much you earn, right? So this is what? It is a quantitative. If you say what is your occupation, so photographer, I'm serviceman, I'm businessman, something like that, it is what? It is a qualitative data, right? Another example is that how many square meter in your house, so this is again quantitative. But in which city your house is located, so that is what? It is a qualitative data is there, right? So in this way we have to understand that what is the meaning of what kind of data, what kind of information we need to collect in the quantitative way, or what kind of information we need to collect in the qualitative way. I mean to say that this is very important subject, because of whenever you are designing your questionnaire, so you have to design in that way whether this information is required in the qualitative way or in a quantitative way. I hope the things are clear to everyone. Now moving ahead, so first of all, why the data is required, what to do with the data for further purpose. So there are two objectives are there. One is descriptive statistic and second one is inferential statistic, right? So we want to describe about the data, we want to calculate the summary of the data, right? Whenever you are doing so, describing the data or calculating the summary of your data, so this is one part. But if you want to take some conclusion, some significant decision over that, so you have to go for inferential statistic, right? So both are the statistical tools, but the uses purpose of these two things are different. talking to what? Descriptive statistic or summary of the data. So the method of primary helps summarize and present the data. It is what purpose? It is a primary helps to summarize. Huge amount of data are there. Maybe 5,000 row, maybe something like that. So it is not easy to present at a one page. It is not easy to present in a basically to conclude within 5,000 column or 5,000 row. So we can calculate the summary of the data, and on the basis of the summary we can decide what data is asking to us, how we can proceed with the data. So this is summarize and present the data fall under the head of what? Summary statistic or descriptive statistic. But in case if you are interested to calculate, if you are interested to generalize any decision, you want to take any decision, so yes, you have to apply inferential statistic, that are method that use data collected from the small group to reach the conclusion about a larger group. I mean to say, if I want to say ki, the people who have a car, their earning are approximately maybe 50,000, maybe 40,000, something like that, right? So this is our hypothetical conclusion, but we have to justify with some data. It is not easy job to calculate the information from each and every person who have a car, but what we can do, just we can collect the data from small group of person who are having car, and accordingly we can inquire with their income information, and on that basis we can generalize the decision, yes, whether our statement or assertion was correct or wrong. Got it my point? This is the uses of the data is. So classifying variable, we discussed about what? Categorical and numerical, right? In numerical variable, in qualitative variable or maybe categorical variable, the values are always yes, no, blue, brown, green, etc., right? There is no number. It is presented with some specific sign. Okay, there is no number is there. But in case in your data any number are coming, so that is known as what? It is known as a quantitative data. The quantitative data are two types. One is discrete and second one is a continuous. Discrete is what? It is a counting process. It is a counting process. We can count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. But continuous is what? It is a measuring process is there. Let me see how it can, what could be the example. Okay, if you have a question, do you have a Facebook profile? So if you are saying yes or no, so what kind of data it is? It is a categorical data. In another question, if you are saying that how many text messages have you sent in a past 3 days, right? So of course the people will say maybe 30 messages, maybe 40 messages, maybe 50 messages, so something like that. It is comes through that counting process, and that is why it is known as a quantitative data but discrete data, right? But question number 3, how long did the mobile app update take to download, right? How long, how much time it take to update the app? So definitely you can say 20 minutes, you can say 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It is coming through the measuring process. So this is again quantitative data, but it is a continuous types of data. I hope the things are clear to everyone, every participants. Is that clear to everyone now? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So this is the basic example. We have to identify that what types of data are categorical data, what types of data are numerical, quantitative data, but maybe discrete, maybe continuous, right? Now moving ahead. So in fact, if you want to see at a one glance the whole variable identification of all variable at a one glance, so we can say now the variable can be initially classified into two heads. One is categorical, second one is numerical. While talking to categorical, there are numeric nominal value are there are ordinal value are there, and talking to what numerical data, there is a discrete and a continuous are there. If you see, there is an example R. If you are asking a question to anyone, what is your marital status? Okay, so the people will say, I'm married or unmarried, right? So this is what it is, a nominal value data, categorical but nominal, right? Political party, eye color, it is what it is, a nominal categorical variable. But if you are saying that how you feel it, this product, how you feel, it is good, it is bad, or maybe better, best, something like that. So it is what a categorical data but ordinal, right? It is coming from the one order, good, better, best, okay, bad, good, better, best, something like that, or low, medium, and high. So this is what ordinal categorical variable. Talking to discrete, number of children, how many number of children you have, defect per hours, any production process is going on and the production manager wants to check how many pieces are defective in a hours. So yes, this is called a discrete because it is coming through the counting. And continuous, what if you're talking about height, weight, okay, temperature, which are coming from the measuring process, right? So this is called what, a numerical continuous data, right? Now I think it is very much clear to everyone regarding identification of variable, whether it is categorical variable, ordinal, nominal, or talking to numerical, it is a discrete or it is a continuous. Now, what are the measurement scale has to be followed? I'm not going to fix you this is the only measurement scale you can follow, but I'm just trying to give you some example so that you can understand it. Talking to what, I'm just going to talk about a nominal scale, categorical variable nominal scale. Your question may be like that, do you have a Facebook? So you people will say yes, maybe no. Types of investment, what types of investment you preferred? The people may say growth value and others. Cellular provider services, maybe BSNL, VI, Geo, other, none of these. So this is what it is, nominal scale categorical variable. I mean to say, whenever you are going to define, whenever you are going to collect the information categorical variable, which may be relating to what, nominal, right? So you have to give option to the people. These are the options which are fall under the head of what, measurement scale, such like that, yes, no, growth value, others. Must be there is no number is there, there is a no number is there, I mean to say there is no serial is there, right? Now talking to ordinal scale, class, student class designation, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. It is what, if you try to understand, it is coming from one order, it is a order, that is why it is called a ordinal categorical variable, right? Production satisfaction, very much satisfy, very unsatisfied, fairly unsatisfied, neutral, fairly satisfied, and very satisfied. You might have heard about that Likert scale is there. So Likert scale fall under the head of a ordinal categorical variable, right? Faculty rank, professor, associate professor, assistant professor, instructor, etc. Standard and poor bond rating, that are, you know, that double A, triple A, double A, triple B, B, triple C, C, something. It is what it is. There is a meaning of each and every serial, right? Student grade, that is A, B, C, D, F. So it is what? It is again ordinal. Means the order is important. Your variable are in a ordinal categorical scale, right? Now talking to what, if you are going to calculate your numerical variable. Okay, so what types of variable could be a continuous, could be a discrete. Talking to temperature, right? So it is what? Talking to temperature, it is what? Interval, right? Standardized exam score, accounting and statistics, that is interval. Okay. Height, weight, age, salary, it is what? Always in a what? Ratio. So you need to identify that interval and ratio is meaning is what? Because nobody can say temperature 26, right? Temperature between, right? And between, whenever you are talking about a between, so you have to give a one interval, right? Standardized exam score between 70% to 80%, right? Maybe 60% to 65%, there are interval is there. But whenever you are talking about height, weight, okay, age, salary, etc., this is all what? A ratio. Level of measurement must be in a ratio. Now, if we have discussed about the types of variable and we understand the types of variable, how many types of variables are there, so let us we move ahead talking to what does what is the difference between population and a sample, and what does mean of population is. Okay, the population is what? Indian population 134 crore. Population of Delhi maybe 3 crore, maybe 4 crore, something like that, right? But it is very easy task to us to collect the information from each and every person who are living in a Delhi, right? Or who are living in India. If you are doing so, if you are doing so, collecting the information from each and every person who are living in Delhi or who are living in India, so that method is known census method. That is method is known what? Census. In census, what we do collect the information from each and every individuals, right? And the known, basically it is a population. But you know that since we are a researcher, we want to conduct a study, we want to solve any problem, we want to achieve any objective. It is not possible to us to reach each and every person. So what we can do, we can collect the samples from the population. A very small group of population can be select as a sample, and we can collect the information from there, and yes, we can conclude about the result, right? So this is known as what? A sample. That is why the definition is there. A population contain all types or individual of interest that you are seek to study. A population is any complete group with at least one characteristic in a common. But talking to what? Sample. A sample contain only a portion of a population of a interest, right? A sample contain only a portion, only a small portion of a population for a interest purpose. This figure I think will make you very much clear. Look at the left hand side, there is a population is there, right hand side there is a sample is there, right? So whole, if you are going to conduct the study on each and every person, I mean to say going to collect the information from each and every person, known as a what? Population. But the right hand side figure, which are red handed, I mean the pictures are red, we are not going to collect the information from each and everyone, but we have classified our population into 4 groups, and from each group we are collecting some person, some individual information for our study purpose. So we have not collected information for entire population from entire population, but we have selected some portion of the population for our study purpose. So this is the meaning of a sample, right? Why the sampling is important, or study conducting through that sample is very easy task, right? Because it is a less time consuming, okay, less expensive, or practical, more practical entire the, instead of entiring the conducting study on entire population, right? So these are the 3 factors which insist us to go for a sampling purpose and go for a collection data from sample wise, not from population wise. So what is the parameter or statistic is there? A population parameter or a sample statistic. A population parameter summarize the value of a specific variable for a population. I mean to say, if you want to study about the per capita income, right? Through that census. So you have to go collect the information about each and individual person, okay, each and every house. But a sample statistic is what? It is a summarize the value of a specific variable of a sample data. There, in the case of population, entire population, but in a sample statistic, we are going to use only sample data for the study purpose, right? Now, it is, if we have identified that data, if you have formulated your problem or identified your problem, defined your problem, definitely you might have decided that now let us proceed for calculating collection the data from the individuals, right? So how many sources we have for collection of data? So we are going to talk about sources of data arises from the following activities, such as one is capturing data generated by ongoing business activity, capturing data generated by ongoing business activity. I mean to say, if you are taking any information from any company financial statement, right? Second one is distributing the data compiled by an organization or individual. Some of other person who had collected the information, like any organization who has collected for some other purpose, but we are taking data from that publication, from that source, and we are using for our study purpose as well, right? So that can be second source of collection of data may be there. Third one is compiling the response from a survey. We ourselves, we investigator, as investigator, we are collecting the data from survey. This could be the third way. Next one is conducting a designed experiment or recording the outcome. It is mostly used in the medical science or maybe the marketing and all. So what we are doing, we are just changing something, and whatever the response comes, we are going to record it. So this is called experimental study kind of thing. The last one is conducting an observational study and recording the result. So these are different sources of data collection could be there. So I'm going to explain you with some certain example, whatever the sources of data we have discussed in previous slide. A bank studies year of financial transactions to help them identify the pattern of fraud. It is what? It is a data from ongoing business, right? Economists utilizing data on research researches done Google to help forecast future economic condition, right? This is what this is second types of data is, means data were collected by someone else and they published it, but we are using that information for our study purpose. This could be the second type. Marketing companies use tracking the data to evaluate the effectiveness of website, right? So this is what they we are recording how much our marketing our website is effective. Any marketing company are interested to do so. So this is these are the some certain example from the business activities, ongoing business activities. First one is also relating to bank. Second one is also, this is the economics utilization, ongoing business is there, and third one is marketing companies are utilizing this one. This is also business, ongoing business activity. But data distributed by an organization or individual, they have collected, but we are going to use financial data, company provided on investment services, right? So this could be the second one. And next one is industry or market data from market research firms and trade association, stock prices, weather condition, and sports statistic. This is what I mean to say, some other organization who has collected the information, but we are going to utilize for our study purpose, right? Examples of survey. A survey asking people with laundry detergent has the best stain remover abilities. It is what? It is a market survey. Political polls of registered voters during the political campaign. It is what? A field survey, right? Third one is people being surveyed to determine their satisfaction with recent product or services experience. So this is what this is again survey method, right? So these are the what survey method is there. Next one is a designed experiment, consumer testing of different version of a product to help determine whether the product should be pursued further or not. Okay, company wants to check on the basis of consumer taste, on the basis of consumer opinion, and it is being conducted as a experiment purpose, right? Material testing to determine which supplier material should be used in a product. I mean to say, you have to take a sample from all supplier, use it in your production process, check the effectiveness and efficiency of their raw material. On that basis only, you are going to decide whose supplier are better to supply the raw material, right? So this is the second one. Market survey on alternative product promotion to determine which the promotion to more use more broadly, right? So this is again what experiment study kind of things is there. The last one is what observational study. Market researcher utilizing focus group to explore the unstructured responses, open-ended questions. Sometimes this method is very useful whenever we does not know about the response, right? We does not know about the response, what types of response that a respondent can give us, right? In this case, it is being suggested that don't be go for a close ended, don't say yes, no, 1 2 3 4 5 6, something like that. Okay, give them open-ended questions so that they can write their opinion, they can write their view. On that basis we can have our analysis, we can go for analysis purpose, right? So this is more appropriate when we does not know about the response, right? And maybe that variation among the response may be very much high, so this method is more appropriate at that time. Measuring the times it's take to customer to be served in a fast food establishment, measuring the volume of traffic through an intersection to determine if some forms of advertising at the interaction is justified or not. I mean to say, any company wants to have a hoarding over there, and the company wants to check how much time a traffic takes to pass this intersection point, whether the putting that hoarding at that point is a benefit, maybe beneficial for the company or not. So all these what it is a observational studies are. We are not going to ask a question, we are not going to say anything, we have to just go stand there and just observe how the people are reacting for this intersection point, right? Sometime observational studies and designed experiments have a common objective, right? In that case, both are attempting to quantify effect that a process change called a treatment, right? So I mean to say, in case any pharmaceutical company are there who are going in the trial of any specific injection, right? So they want to check the effectiveness of that injection, right? In that case, observational and designed experiment must be there. I mean to say, 2 3 group must be selected for it, and they have to give a vaccine to that trial groups and look at the effect, and data responses must be recorded. So their objectives are common. Observational as well as designed experiment objectives are common. It is basically highly used in medical science and all. It is an observational study. There is a no direct control over which the item received the treatment, right? I mean to say, researcher don't have a control over the outcome, but researcher is going to do make a treatment. If you put an example over here, that implementation of IFRS, right, for the preparation of financial statement and all, reporting purpose and all, that IFRS may be a kind of treatment may be considered, and thereafter we can see what are the impact is going to affect on their financial statement, whether we are going to achieve our objective. Means that with the implementation of IFRS, that financial statement of different companies, they are able to present their true and fair way or not, right? This could be or treatment can be considered in the humanities or in the commerce kind of studies. The next one is a designed experiment. There is a direct control over which the item received the treatment. Designed experiment, there is a direct control over which the item received the treatment. So I mean to say, any kind of things is there, on that basis only we can have a design our questionnaire and move ahead. But basically, if you try to classify the data can be classified into two head. One is primary sources, second one is a secondary sources. Data from political survey, it is a what? Primary sources. Data collected from experiment, observationals and all, survey methods and all, it is what? It is a primary data. But if you are using any data which are already being collected by someone else and may be published, okay, or may not be published, so that is all secondary data, such as using information from financial statement of any company, census data, okay, or maybe stock market data, and you are going to analyze. This is all known as a what? Secondary data, right? We have discussed types or sources of data. We have discussed about a variable of data, but what method can we follow for achieving our purpose in a significant way, so that our decision must be approximately correct, so that is known as a what? Sampling. I mean to say, the process of collection of a sample known as a what? Sampling, in a very easy language if you try to define over here. So whatever the process we are going to follow in us for the collection of data, right? If it is known as a sampling, so we have to very much caution about the method in which we are going to follow for collection of information, collection of data. So the sampling is what? Sampling frame is a listing of item that makes the population. Listing of item that makes the population. Frames are data sources such as population list, directories, or maybe map. Inaccurate or biased result can result it frame exclude a certain portion of a population. It is very important point in case inaccurate method being followed for collection of a data, collection of a information. So your result may be biased, okay, or maybe you not able to achieve your purpose. So we have to very much conscious, and we should select appropriate method for collection of a data. I mean to say, sampling method. Using different frame to generate the data can lead a dissimilar conclusion. If you are using different method, so it might happen that your conclusion may be dissimilar to each other, right? So if you see at this chart, this is chart which show you collecting the data about population flow chart. If you see at a point number 1, what and who is the target population? The population. What is the target population? I mean to say, your target population are whole Delhi or maybe a part of Delhi, right? So interested area, you can say in a very simple word, interested area is what? A population. Population, define the target population. First of all, you have to define the target population. Thereafter, will the data collected from all or part of the population, whether the individual, each and every individual is important for the collection of a data purpose, or if we collect the data from some portion of this population, so it will serve our purpose. So both things are different. If you are going to collect the information from each and every individual, so it will be known as a what? Census. Complete enumerators must be included in your study. But second hand side, if you are going to collect the data, collect the sample from a portion of a population, so that will known as a what? A sample, right? How will the data be sourced? There are direct or there are indirect. We already defined that. What are the direct method are there? It is a survey method could be, it may be questionnaire, it may be public opinion and all. And the secondary source or indirect method are any from any published data, any secondary sources data can be taken up. So studying census and sample, if you try to see the difference between population and census and population, as well as sample and populations. So studying a population, we already discussed that in this we have to select each and every individual. A population may be studied using one of two approaches: taking a census or selecting a census. I mean to say, if you want to conclude about a population where your interest is, there are two methods is there. One is go for a census. Second one is collect some sample, collect some portion of collect information from a portion of a population, and you may use this information generalize your decision. I mean to say that problem can be solved in a two-way. But if you are going through that census, it is very much expensive, time taking, which is not feasible for researcher. That is why, being a researcher, we have to go for a sampling method. And in a sampling method, a partial enumerator will be participating in our collection of a sample. A sample is a subset of unit in a population selected to represent all units in a population of a interest, right? Now there are method, I mean to say, I will say to sampling method, right? The samples can be two types. One is a non-probability samples and second one is a probability samples. Talking to what? Non-probability is what? Judgment and convenience. Probability is what? Simple random, systematic, stratified, and clustering sampling is. Please note it down. We'll discuss one by one. A sample must be robust, whatever method you are going to follow. Okay, whatever the sampling method you are going to follow for collection of the sample, but your method must be robust in its design, large enough to provide reliable representation of a whole population, right? So with this thought, you may move to select what is the sampling method is more appropriate for collection of a data, right? Talking to first of all non-probability sample. In non-probability sample, item included are chosen without regard to their probability of occurrence of an event, right? I mean to say, we does not know that what is the probability of occurring this event. What is the probability of occurring this event or this incidence, right? In this case, if this kind of a things is there, so yes, non-probability sampling can be followed. And in non-probability of sampling, there are two methods is there. One is convenience sampling and second one is a judgment. In convenience sampling is item are selected on the basis selected based only on fact they are easy. They are easy to get information from them. Okay, it is inexpensive or it is convenient for a sampling. We are not going to make any other things as a base, but they are easy to response, they are easy to capture. That is why we are following that convenience sampling. But in judgment, you get the opinion of pre-selected expert in the subject matter, right? Get the opinion in pre-selected expert in the subject matter, so, right? This is what it is, a judgment sample. But let me tell you, this both sampling methods are not very much effective. It might be give you a biased result. There are some limitations are there. Talking to next one, talking to probability sampling is where the chances of occurring the event happening this event are maybe known or maybe fixed. So in that case, probability sampling has to be followed. And in probability sampling, there are simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified and cluster samplings are. Which one is more appropriate for you, and what does mean of each and every sampling methods? Let me discuss one by one. Talking to what? Simple random sampling. Every individuals or item from the frame has an equal chance. Say for example, population size 100, and we decided to select the only 10 sample from it. What is the probability of selection of each and every person? Maybe 1%, that is 1 by 100. Okay, so each and every individuals having a chance to be a part of our sample, that is 1 by 100. So every individuals having chance to be a part of our sample. So this is called a what? A simple random sampling. Selection may be with a replacement selected individual in return to the framework, or maybe without replacement. If you recall a taska gaddi, right? If you are drawing a ace, okay, what is the probability is there of selection of ace? That is 4 by 52, right? In case if you are going to replace it again and drawing the second card, so what is the probability of ace is what? That is again 4 by 52. My point is that if you are not replacing the card again in the that packet, so what is the probability of second card would be ace? That is 3 by 52, 51. In that way, it is going to affect your probability, right? So you have to decide key with the replacement or without replacement is important. Sample obtained from a table of random numbers or computer random numbers generated. Okay, that can also be a possibility may be there. Say for example, this is the example. Okay, a portion of random sample table is what is a we are going to select the sample random sample using random numbers. If you create this random number, so this is the random number, right? First 5 item in a sample random has to be selected, right? There is a 1 to 850. So what is how many items are falling between it? So if you take that first one 492 is there, and then 889, it is beyond to that, beyond to this number. My range is from 001 to 850. Okay, I will select only these item. The second one is 808, so you select. Then 892, forget about the separate number, you just selected 3 number, only that 3 number. 492, there is, then 808, then second one, then 892, it is 892, we recorded it, but it is does not exist in our frame, it is beyond to my frame, so we have to eliminate it. I mean to say it is an outlier value, right? And second one, in this way we can select any 5 number for our things. Mind it, no any system, no any method we are going to follow, but just simply random basis we are going to include in our sample. This is called a simple random sampling. Now talking to what? Systematic sampling. So there are how many n is there? Look at this picture, there are 40 n is there, right? We want to select how many numbers? Okay, we want to select only 4 number, right? 4 sample. So what to do? You just divide it by n, means 40 divided by what? 4. You will get a, that is 10. So you have to select in the randomly. So there are procedure are there. Decide the sample size and divide the frame of in n individuals into group, that is k, and random selected one individual first group. This is you selected these one, right? And they will be part of your I mean sampling method. So this is what this is called a systematic sampling. We are following one system, right? There is no random sampling is there. You can say first we'll select that fifth number, and thereafter every 10th number. So this one is fifth, then again you go 1 2 3 4 5 10, and then again next you have to select again 11th, then again you have to go 10th, you have to select 21, then 31, then 41. In this way, you may select your sample for your study purpose. This is known as a systematic sampling. Now, stratified sampling is when it is important, when the systematic sampling is important, when your population characteristics are different. Okay, characteristics are different or spread. But if it is very much different, I mean to say, your population can be classified into different group. Maybe children, maybe adult, maybe old age person. There are three characteristics are. So you have to divide your population into three groups, and you have to follow any method to select. Such as in this given population, there are 4 groups are there, and from each and every group, 3% being selected for a sampling purpose, right? And there is no system were followed, that is called a stratified sampling. But please mind it, this is very much important where the population characteristics are different from one group to another group. So first of all, your population should be classified into group, and thereafter from within the group you have to select your required sample. Got it? But finally, cluster. The cluster is what? It is almost same as a stratified sampling, but here the characteristics of a population are very much differing to each other. So you have to make a cluster, you have to make a classification of your population, and you may select any 2, 3, 4 cluster population cluster sample as a sample, and you may conduct your study. I hope the things are clear. In probability sampling, there are 4 methods is there: random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, and a cluster sampling. Random sampling, in case your population nature are characteristics are the same, so random sampling can be useful for you. But in case if you want to more and more accuracy, so systematic sampling can be followed. Stratified sampling and cluster sampling could be applied only when your characteristics nature of your population are differing to each and every groups, right? There are many groups are there, say for example children, adult, old age. So you have to go for a stratified sampling or a cluster sampling. Got it my point? I hope the things is clear to everyone. And in this probability sampling methods, I have given over here what are the uses, why the sampling systematic sampling or random sampling is used, or stratified sampling used, or maybe cluster sampling are used. So you can see here it is talking to simple random sampling and systematic sampling. It is very much simple to use, may not be good representation of the population. So this is the limitation with it. Stratified sampling ensure representation of individual across the entire population. It is means accuracy of the data increases, while cluster sampling more cost effective, less efficient, need a larger sample to acquire same level of precision. I mean to say, this is the things. But on the basis of your population, there is no hard and fast rule were recommended by the statistician to follow sampling method for the collection of a sample. But on the basis of characteristics of your population, you have to decide which method is more and more effective for you, right? If you collected your data, so the question will come in your mind whether my data is ready for analysis. So people can say maybe yes, maybe no, but I would say no, data not yet ready, right? Why? Because of in data there are some irregularities may be there, such as typographical error may be there, value of r impossible undefined is there may be missing value r, maybe outlier is, right? When these irregularities are found, so need to address, right? Try to correct this, otherwise you will not able to run your software, you will not able to run your analysis, and you will not able to conclude anything from the data. You have to check about the typo error, you have to check about the missing value, you have to check about the outlier value. What does the mean of outlier value? you might have seen there 892 were there, which is out of range. So you have to eliminate it from your data. And yes, your data are ready. This irregularities can be addressed with Excel very easy way, right? Now, evaluating the survey worthiness is, what is the purpose of survey? Is this survey based on probability sample, coverage error, non-response error, measurement error, sampling error, right? These types of error can be there, right? What is the purpose of survey? If it is a very important, so you should be very conscious about your sampling method as well as your data collection method. Is the survey based on a probability sample or non-probability sample? You must be very clear about it. Coverage error, you might have left some group of population which is not covered, okay, that can give you biased result. Non-response error, right? Maybe you have given a questionnaire to someone else, but they have not filled it, they have not returned you. So please follow with them and ask them, sir, please fill it and return us, right? There is a measurement scale, maybe error may be there. Good questions, okay, may be important for your research, but it is not being addressed by the respondent. Sampling error, I would say, in case from one population you have selected a 2 sample, and if you are calculating summary statistic from each group of sample, and if you want to check is there, so there definitely I would say the mean of these 2 sample group maybe differ, okay, maybe they differ, so that is known as a sampling error, right? So types of survey error are such as coverage error or selection bias, non-response error or bias, sampling error or measurement error are. So how to address all these things? Sampling error we cannot eliminate it, but measurement error and non-response error and coverage error we can address in our research, right? So look at this picture. I think you will be very much clear about it. Look at this coverage error, right? What we have followed, that a sampling method were followed in it, but we have selected 2% from first row and 1% in the second row, and again 2% who are very closely to each other, and third one is very extreme left. But this row, this yellow shaded area excluded from your participation in your sample. This may be called as a coverage error. Non-response, you have given a questionnaire to someone else for the filling purpose, but they have not returned you. So please follow them. Sampling error, random differences from sample to sample. We already discussed, we can ignore it. Yes, if it is significant, so it is matter. If it is insignificant, so there is no issue is there. Measurement is there. You have given an answer in your question itself, or one question, next question are leading by the previous question, right? So these types of a question, while designing our questionnaire, we have to very much conscious about it, that any question should not lead any other questions, right? So these are the error we can address in the analysis purpose. Talking to analysis of data, types of analysis, interpretation of a data. So I would say yes, it is not an easy task basically to define, to tell you in a very short time, but still I will try to do so. Okay, which are the possible from my side, ki how analysis can be done and how the data can be analyzed. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what kind of analysis is required for your data set. Okay, so if you recall my discussion in the beginning itself, I have discussed with you, that is descriptive statistic and inferential statistic, right? Descriptive statistic and inferential statistic I have discussed with you. Participants, hello?
Yes, yes, please.
So basically, in a descriptive statistic, what to do, and in inferential statistic, what to do.
Sir, it's not a two-way communication. Participants are replying on chat. So you continue with your deliberation, please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So basically, in the descriptive statistic, we describe our data first of all, right? And we calculate our summary statistic so that we can define our data. We can see the data types or characteristics are there. Basically, if you say there are 3 point R, so there are three things is one is the central tendency, second one is a variation. Just give me 1 minute. So in the descriptive statistic, what we do, we calculate the summary of our data. We see how our data are varying to each other and what types of shape the data is, right? Maybe it is a normal, maybe it is a the data are skewed, maybe symmetrical or maybe asymmetrical. Something types of things we can interpret our data from the summary statistic, right? So while calculating the summary statistic, if you recall that what kind of summary statistics are there, that are mean, median, mode, range, quartile, percentile, decentile, all these things can be added over there, can be calculated. So with that, and thereafter, if you want to see the variations in business statistic, you might have gone through that. The variations are there, that may be the it is in the range, or maybe in the standard deviations are it is given. So in this way we can learn about it, how our data are varying to each other and all, right? So look at this data. If you see over there, here there are production in the meters of 6-year quarterly carpet is there. So we have to see the data are given 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, we want to see what is the mean, what are the median, what are the mode is there, what are the summary statistic of our data is. So we can go with the help of the Excel, and we can have that analysis or summary statistic can be calculated. In fact, variation can also be calculated with this. Okay, and after that, after that, we can interpret how our production are varying from year to year. Is there any variation? Is there? What are the mean? How our trend production, average trend production is there, right? So we can understand all these things with this help. So I'm not going to discuss with the help of other things, but that analysis can be done. How the analysis can be done, that is important aspect. And you can see the table of result. There are mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, or all these information we can calculate with the summary statistic, right? And talking to that, in case if you want to check the relation between two variable, okay, or more than two variables, so you know that coefficient of correlation and covariance can be calculated, and it can be with the graphical method, it can be with the numerical equation method. We can see, and we can see how the data are relating to each other, right? So coefficient of correlation can be used. Thereafter, we have to go for an inferential statistic, right? While applying the inferential statistic, there are t-test is there, z-test is there, ANOVA are there, chi-square test are there. So all these are the basic statistical tools which we can apply with the help of Excel as well as with the manual also, and we can calculate, we can check, and further we can conclude our things. Decision can be taken on the basis of this thing, but with the shortage of time, I cannot go for it. Let me discuss first of all with you how the summary statistic can be calculated. Okay, look at my uh, the Excel sheet. I hope the Excel sheet is visible to everyone. Is it? ICI, some, if someone is there, so please confirm. My Excel sheet is visible.
Yes, sir.
My Excel sheet is visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, participants, this is my data set, which contains the production of a carpet looms, okay, which are given in the meters. The data are relating to quarter basis, one quarter, quarter number 1, quarter number 2, quarter number 3, quarter number 4. Okay, and the production year is also given 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I just want to calculate the summary statistic yearly wise, right? So how the Excel is useful or powerful tools in front of us, we can calculate, and we can go for the decision. What to do? We have to select the related data, okay, and go to the data, right? There is a cap one is there, that is data, and go for the data analysis. If you click over there, then there is a descriptive statistic tools are. You have to select that descriptive statistic and click the OK button, and they will say select the range. Okay, select the range. So you have to select the range in this way, and summary statistic. We want to calculate that summary statistic and say OK. So if you calculate, say OK, so this is your summary statistic in front of you. Okay, that column number 1 relating to 2015, then column number 2 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? In that way you can just change it and you can interpret it. There is a mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variance, kurtosis, skewness, range, median, minimum value, maximum value, and sum, and there are count. Okay, so how we can interpret to this one, right? So talking to 2015, the mean production was, I mean average production was, that is 15.9, but in 2016 it is 16.1, in 2017 16.05, in again 18 it has declined, and in 19 it is 16 and again 16 point. I mean to say, in fact, overall, we can say the average production of this carpet loom is it is between 15 to 16.5, right? And talking to what median, what is the midpoint of this production? Midpoint means it is a central value. Midpoint, if n divided by 2, so midpoint is 15.8, 16.2, 16, 15.85. This there is a mode. Talking to what mode in the 2015 mode is a repetition, how many times occurrence in the observations in the variable. So there is a mode in 2015, and on that basis we can decide whether our data are symmetrical or asymmetrical. I mean to say, you know that properties of symmetrical data are mean equal to median equal to mode. If it is so, you can say your data are symmetrical, otherwise asymmetrical is. So look at this, mean is not equal to median, is not equal to mode, but median and mode are equal to each one, right? But if you say that another year this is not equal to each other, I mean to say, but there is no high deviations are, we can say our data are asymmetrical but approximately normal. But approximately normal. How could I can say it? Because look at this Kurtosis. Kurtosis value are 4 in Kurtosis 2015. The Kurtosis is there is a 3.34, then 2.3, 3 and 2 and -5, right? So Kurtosis tell you about the peakness of the data, how it is data are peaked. If you plot the data at a normal curve, how data are peaked, okay? And standard deviation tells us about the spreadness of the data, right? Standard deviations are 0.2 and again 0.68, again 0.27, again 0.5. I mean to say your standard deviation is not more than 1. I mean to say the spreadness of the curve is not very much high, but yes, the peakness is there. But since mean close to median and close to mode, we can say our data are approximately normal. Is that clear? Is that clear to everyone? And this is the way of summary statistic. We can calculate, we can interpret, and on that basis only, if our data are normal, so we can decide parametric test has to be applied. If our data are not normal, so we can say we have to apply non-parametric test for the further decision making purpose. I mean to say for inferential statistic purpose. What are the parametric tests are? Primarily, we can say Z test, T test, and F test are there. That is called variance analysis R, right? What are the non-parametric tests are? There are many non-parametric tests are, but I'm just telling you basic one, that is a chi-square test, right? So on the basis of this normality and all, we have to decide which test has to apply. Let me tell you that a Z test, we know that it is also called a large sample test. When your sample size more than 30, okay, more than 30, and standard deviations are given, maybe population standard deviation, maybe sample standard deviation are, you have to apply Z test, okay? In case your sample size less than 30, okay, less than 30 and standard deviation of population are unknown, which is commonly there in the case of sampling, so you have to apply T test, right? On this basis we can say, even I would say you can check the variance analysis of each and every one, because we have a more than 2 sample. So one sample test will be become fail, 2 sample test will be become fail. So we have to go for applying variance analysis, which is also known as a ANOVA, right? With the using of Excel, we can analyze that variance. I hope the things are clear to everyone about summary statistic. Moving ahead, talking to covariance. Covariance is what? It is measure the strength of the linear relationship to more two numerical variables, that is X and Y. Say for example, demand and supply. Okay, price and demand, and price and supply, maybe anything. If you want to see how they are varying to each other, how they are varying to each other, and what are the strength of linear relationship is there. So simple covariance can be used. This is the formula. This is the formula which normally in manual statistic we used, but Excel make our life very easy. We can calculate our covariance, right? So interpreting the covariance is what? If your result between covariance more than 0, so X and Y tends to move in the same direction. If it is less than 0, so they are moving to the opposite direction, right? And if your covariance equal to 0, so X and Y are independent to each other. This is the interpretation. Covariance result more than 0, they are moving same direction. I mean to say X and Y moving same direction. If less than 0, they are moving to the opposite direction. If covariance result is 0, you would say both variable are independent to each other. There is no relationship are there, right? But talking to what? Coefficient of correlation. If you talk about coefficient of correlation, so it's measure the strength of linear relationship between two numerical variable. Strength, okay, strength, how much they are related to each other. So this is the formula which we normally use. Coefficient of correlation are always denoted by R. Covariance between X and Y, standard deviation of X, standard deviation of Y. So the result of coefficient of correlation always between -1 to +1. If it is close to -1, so we can say stronger negative relationship. If it is close to +1, so we'll say stronger positive relationship. I mean to say both direction. I mean to say both variable will move to the same direction. Negative means to the negative direction. If it is closer to 1, so we'll say yes, there are a positive relationship is there, perfect positive relationship is there. If they are close to 0, we can say there is a weaker relationship, or you can say there is no relationship R, or you can also interpret it in the another word that coefficient of both variable are independent to each other, right? This is the interpretation of the, if you plot at a scatter diagram, so in this way you can see there is a minus R equal to -1. There are negative relationship R. This second figure is there right hand side at the top, that is it is scattered diagram, right? There are negative relationship but not close to 1. If you see that third figure is, so where the R equal to +1, so their linear relationship is there, positive linear relationship is there. If +3.3, so yes, it is scattered, yes, positive relationship R, but it is not very much, I mean stronger relationship. If you say R equal to 0, so this types of plot you will get it, right? So point number 1, next one is, say for example, the test score 1 and test score 2 is there, and you want to check that what is the coefficient of correlation, what are the covariances there. You can apply with the Excel and you can get it. Is there is any test score relationship R or not, right? So I'm just going to perform it with the using of Excel with the some different data. Let you see. This is the data I have. The milk in liter and a number of cows are. So in any dairy farm production, just that entrepreneur wants to check is there is any relationship between cow and milk or not, right? So covariance we can check. We can also check a coefficient of a correlation. So again, what to do? You have to go to the data of Excel, go to analysis. Okay, there are correlation is there. You click over correlation and the system will ask you put input range. You have to select your data and say okay. So look at this figure. We have a result, that is column number 1, that are milk, column number 2, that are number of cows. if you calculate relationship, coefficient of correlation between milk and milk, there is a relationship is 1. And if you calculate a relationship between milk and cow, there are relationship 0.93. Okay, yes, we can say it is closer to 1, positive closer to 1. So there is a perfect strong relationship R between cow and milk and number of cow. Got it my point? Is it clear to everyone? Okay. And further, if you want to have a say for example, if you want to calculate that covariance, so again go to the data and go to analysis, data analysis, and there is a covariance is there. Select it and select your data range, and you will calculate it. Right? Look at this. It is approximately, they are saying that approximately 37, 39, 59.85, something like that, right? I mean to say, if you calculate covariance between cow and milk, so this is the covariance is there. It means it is a positive, but very, very high. Got it? So in my PPT, to perform the test, yes, the all points are mentioned. What to do while for calculation of coefficient of correlation with the using this one, you select and you may interpret, you may find your result, and you may interpret your output as well, right? This is the scattered diagram is there, interpreting the coefficient of correlation using this. If your R is 0.73, it is approximately close to 1. You can say yes, there are positive relationship between X and Y is there. What are the pitfalls in numerical description measure is data analysis is the objective. Data interpretation is a what a subjective. It is matters. Yes, if you calculate your statistical output, you will get a specific result. But how you are interpreting your information, how you are interpreting your result, that is a subjective matter is there. Should report the summary measures that best describe the communicate in important aspect of the data set. I mean to say, calculation of summary statistic for each and every research, for each and every subject, for any study, it is important because it's a communicate to others what is the description, what is the summary of your data. After that, data interpretation is subjective, means should be done in a fair, neutral, and clear manner. I mean to say, sometimes the researcher are biased. Okay, so in this case, if he is going to interpret the result, so definitely he will not able to describe, interpret the data as a significant manner, in a significant manner. So researchers should be unbiased, should not make any pre-thought. Okay, whatever the result has reported by the system or by the calculation, by the statistical tools and all, they should report on the basis of this one. With that, thank you very much to all of you. I hope I try to cover this all point very quickly, but still, in case any confusion, any doubt, you may ask. Hello.
Sir, we have a question with us. So,
Yeah.
Could you please provide some details regarding software for data analysis?
Ma'am, there are many software are there. Okay, as of now, I would say if you are beginner, okay, you have to go through that Excel. Okay, Excel is very powerful. Tools and easy to use, and even it is a free access is there. Otherwise, you can go for a Stata, you can go for eViews, you can go for R, and these are the things are available. But I would say as a beginner point of view that Excel is enough, because Excel enable us to do many things, and otherwise other statistical tools are there, they can use any one of, right?
Okay, thank you, sir. And we have another question. Sir, this question is regarding the qualitative data. Can you suggest some way for collection and processing of qualitative data?
See, qualitative, as we discussed in the presentation, that there are two types of data are. One is quantitative and second one is qualitative. So it is, if it is a requirement of your research, right, requirement of your project, so you have to design your questionnaire in that way. And while calculating the qualitative data, you need to consider two things: if the data are nominal or it is ordinal, right? So on that basis, your questionnaire as well as a probable response must be given to that one. In case, I mean to say, if you want to say ki how much you like this product, right? So you can say ki I like it very much. Okay, so definitely that ordinal scale has to be given. Otherwise nominal scale can be there. If you want to say about your sex, marriage, marital status and all, so yes, there is a nominal scale must be there, right?
Thank you, sir, for the answer. And the audience, do anybody have any other questions?
You can give 2 minutes time to the audience if they write something. By the time I express my sincere thanks to the faculty and you as well for your nice coordination. So any other question we received?
Not yet, sir. But there are certain thanks message for the sir regarding it is a night's presentation.
Yes, really, it's a wonderful presentation. It's a learning to Neha also. She is also pursuing doctorate. So it's a great learning for her. She's a qualified chartered accountant having more than 7 years experience, 8 years experience. But in the research domain, she's a university topper for pre-PhD exam. She's also enlightened with your words, sir. And it's really a wonderful session. I was continuously 2 hours I was watching your session. It's a great session. So for if we do not have further questions, it shows that the session was very clear to each one of the audience. I would request CA Neha Bansal for expressing final vote of thanks on behalf of the researchers.
Thank you, Amit sir. So on behalf of the research committee, I would first of all like to thank our leadership, Chairman Research Committee and Vice Chairman Research Committee for organizing and for these kind of idealizing these kind of programs. I would also like to thank Secretary of the Research Committee, Dr. Amit Kumar Agarwal, for planning all these series of webinars. And finally, I would also like to thank the speaker for today's session, Dr. Anurag Bahadur Singh. Sir, thank you very much for your valuable time and such a wonderful session for all the participants.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I would like to mention that the audience, our next session on the series is scheduled on 6th November 2023, and the topic would be analysis of data, research framework analysis of data. So we would connect again on 6th November, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Anurag sir, if you would like to add anything,
no, sir. I would say thank you very much to all of you to give me this opportunity to interact with the participants. And I would love, in case any students or any researcher wants to have further clarification on any topics. So yes, they can write me or they can contact me. I am always available and would be happy to assist them. Okay.
Thanks a lot for your dedication.
Sir, thank you.
So thank you,
sir. We take leave for the day. Sir. And we will be connecting again on
6th November.
6th November. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.